Welcome to our channel where we delve into the shadows, embracing the chills that run down your spine. Tonight we journey to the darkest corners of the world, to places where the veil between our world and the next wears thin, haunted islands. These secluded masses of land hold secrets trapped between crashing waves and a sky full of watchful stars. Make sure to turn off the lights, put on your headphones and prepare to face the unknown. For these are the stories of those who dared to step foot on cursed shores and the horrors they found there. Blackwater Island. Even the name itself feels wrong in your mouth, doesn't it? Like a bad taste you can't get rid of. It sits there, shrouded in mist, just off the coast. A dark silhouette against the horizon. Locals say it's cursed. They whisper tales of an ancient tribe that once called the island home, fiercely protective of their land. When explorers first landed on Blackwater, they were met with spears and poisoned arrows. A massacre ensued, staining the sands crimson and waking something angry beneath the earth. The islanders were slaughtered, their spirits unable to find peace. Now they wander those fog-choked forests, seeking vengeance on any who dare trespass. Fishermen tell of their boats being rocked violently in calm waters, shadowy figures appearing on deck, whispering threats on the wind. Some vanish without a trace, their boats found run aground, empty save for the lingering scent of decay and the prickling sensation of unseen eyes watching. Then there's the story of James Crowley. He was a young photographer, adventurous, drawn to the island's grim beauty. He'd heard the stories but dismissed them as folklore, old wives' tales meant to keep people away. He'd regret that arrogance. Crowley hired a local fisherman, Silas, to take him to Blackwater. Silas was hesitant, his eyes filled with a fear Crowley mistook for superstition. He warned Crowley of the island's dark history, begged him to choose another subject for his photographs. But Crowley was determined, set on capturing the essence of the island's haunting beauty. He paid Silas a hefty sum, and against his better judgment, Silas agreed. The journey to the island was unsettlingly quiet. The normally boisterous seabirds were silent, and the water itself seemed to churn around the boat, a deep, unsettling black. Upon reaching the shore, Silas refused to go any further, his weathered face pale beneath his tan. He agreed to wait for Crowley at the edge of the island, but no further. He made Crowley promise to return before sunset, his voice trembling as he spoke of the island waking at nightfall. Crowley, eager to explore, quickly agreed and disappeared into the dense undergrowth. The forest was unnaturally silent, the air thick with the smell of damp earth and something else, something metallic and cloying. He felt a constant prickling sensation on the back of his neck, the feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. The deeper Crowley ventured, the more oppressive the atmosphere became. The trees seemed to press closer, their branches gnarled and twisted, reaching towards him like skeletal fingers. He began to hear whispers carried on the wind, voices speaking in a language he didn't understand, yet instinctively knew to be filled with anger and hate. He stumbled across an ancient stone altar, half hidden by vines and creepers. The stones were stained a dark, rusty brown, and the air around it felt heavy, suffocating. As Crowley reached out to touch the stone, a blood-curdling scream pierced the silence. He spun around, his heart pounding in his chest, but saw nothing. Shaken, Crowley decided to head back, the whispers growing louder, the feeling of unseen eyes intensifying. He emerged from the tree line just as the sun began to dip below the horizon. His relief at seeing Silas's boat overshadowed by the look of terror on the old man's face. Silas later told of seeing Crowley emerge from the trees, his eyes wide with terror, a look of utter despair etched on his face. But that wasn't what scared him. Behind Crowley, partially hidden in the shadows of the forest, stood figures, tall, skeletal figures with glowing red eyes, their hands reaching out towards Crowley, their whispers turning into guttural screams. Our next tale takes us to Shipwreck Cove, a place where the ocean's mournful song carries on the wind, a constant reminder of the tragedies hidden beneath the waves. The cove is a crescent of jagged rocks and bone-white sand, a place of stark beauty that hides a dark and tragic past. Legend has it that centuries ago a merchant vessel laden with riches from distant lands was caught in a sudden and violent storm just off the coast. The ship, battered by relentless waves and howling winds, was dashed against the jagged teeth of the cove, its wooden bones splintering against the unyielding stone. The cries of the sailors, their desperate pleas for salvation, were swallowed by the roar of the tempest, their fate sealed beneath the churning water. Now it is said that the spirits of those lost souls remain trapped within the cove, bound to the site of their watery graves. Fishermen, their boats buffeted by unseen forces, speak of ghostly figures on the shore, their forms flickering like candle flames in the wind. They tell of hearing the mournful cries of the drowned, their voices carried on the salt-laden air, a chorus of despair echoing through the night. One particularly chilling account comes from a young woman named Anya, who visited the cove seeking solace after a personal tragedy. She found no peace there, only an unsettling presence that clung to her like a shroud. As twilight painted the sky in hues of blood orange and bruised purple, Anya wandered along the shore, the sand cold beneath her bare feet. The wind whispered through the rocks, a low, mournful moan that sent shivers down her spine. As darkness descended, she noticed flickering lights out at sea like lanterns bobbing on the waves. They seemed to be drawing closer, and a sense of dread settled over her. Suddenly the air grew heavy, the temperature plummeting as if a door to an icy tomb had been thrown open. The flickering lights resolved themselves into the ghostly forms of men, their faces pale and drawn, their eyes hollow pits of despair. They were dressed in tattered remnants of sailors' garb, their hands reaching out towards her, their voices a chorus of whispers carried on the wind. Anya, paralyzed with fear, could only watch as the spectral figures approached, their forms becoming more distinct with each passing moment. She could see the terror etched on their faces, the pain in their hollow eyes. They were reliving their final moments, the terror of the shipwreck, the icy grip of the ocean claiming them. As the ghostly sailors reached the shore, their forms began to dissipate, their cries fading into the wind as if they were being pulled back into the depths. Anya, shaking uncontrollably, fled the cove, the image of the drowned sailors seared into her mind. Chapter 3. The Phantom Lights of Devil's Reef. Our final journey takes us to the very edge of the map, to a place where even the bravest souls fear to tread. This is Devil's Reef, a jagged scar of black rock jutting from the ocean, perpetually shrouded in an unnatural fog that seems to cling to the very air. Legend has it that the reef is haunted by the souls of countless sailors who met their end upon its treacherous teeth, lured to their doom by the hypnotic glow of spectral lights. These lights, flickering like malevolent fireflies in the distance, have been a source of terror and speculation for centuries. Some believe them to be the work of mischievous spirits, luring unsuspecting ships to their doom for amusement. Others whisper of ancient sea monsters, their eyes glowing from the depths, drawing sailors to a watery grave. One of the most unsettling tales associated with the phantom lights involves a seasoned sea captain named Elias Croft, a man known for his steady hand and unwavering courage. Croft, a man who scoffed at tales of superstition, dismissed the phantom lights as mere atmospheric anomalies, tricks of the light played by fog and mist. He would come to regret his skepticism. One moonless night, as Croft's ship, the Sea Serpent, sailed within sight of Devil's Reef, the fog rolled in with unnatural speed, blanketing the sea in an impenetrable white veil. The crew grew uneasy, the silence broken only by the creaking of the ship and the lapping of waves against the hull. Then, through the swirling mist, they appeared, the phantom lights. They flickered in the distance, an ethereal green like the eyes of a predator stalking its prey. The lights seemed to beckon, drawing the Sea Serpent closer to the jagged teeth of the reef. Croft, his confidence shaken for the first time in his long career, ordered the ship to change course, but it was too late. The lights seemed to exert an unnatural pull on the ship, guiding it closer and closer to the jagged embrace of the reef. The crew panicked, their cries lost in the howling wind as the Sea Serpent, caught in the grip of an unseen force, ran aground with a sickening crunch. The ship, its back broken upon the reef, began to take on water, the icy grip of the ocean tightening around them. Croft, clinging to the wreckage, watched in horror as the phantom lights danced around the sinking ship, their glow illuminating the terrified faces of his crew as they were swallowed by the waves. Thank you for joining us on this eerie journey through haunted islands. The tales we've shared are just a glimpse into the vast ocean of mysteries that surround us. If these stories of cursed shores and vengeful spirits have chilled you to the bone, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more terrifying tales from the darkest corners of the world. Until next time, sleep tight and remember, sometimes the most terrifying monsters are the ones we carry within our own minds.